All right, welcome back. So after a super long drive, we are finally in and ready to go. We have a bit of a swim to get out to our depth, but right away we run into this super friendly Honu. He just comes in to check us out, so I take a dive on him just to start our day off nice and easy. Now coming down here for my first drop of the day in about the mid 40s or so, I'm just going to get warmed up, try to calm down a little bit after that swim, and see what the fish are doing out here today. I'm not really expecting to shoot anything on this drop. I'm just trying to relax and get warmed up for some deeper drops later, get an idea where the fish are moving and how the water's behaving. And I'm really not seeing much yet, which is pretty normal for this zone. I haven't been here in a long time, and it doesn't tend to hold a lot of fish until you get a little bit farther out. So I'm just going to take a peek around, warm up the lungs, and head back up and try them again in a different spot. So now we're a little bit farther out and a little bit deeper in about the mid 50s or so, and I'm going to settle into the sand here and see if I can get some life to come in, as it seems a little bit fishier out here. There's that big school of wahanuis out there, which I'm not really interested in, but there is that fat invasive toa that comes in right at me, and he'd be a great fish to take on this dive. So I think he's coming in. He seems to lose interest and head away, so I give him a little tail tap. It's a good enough holding shot, and I'm going to haul him up. Not a bad start. Kind of a good combination of fortune here. I get to take an invasive species off the reef. I get this really fat amount of meat, and blacktail snapper is really good eating, so check that guy out. Nice fatty to start our day. And then we change locations again, and now we're in the 20-25 meter zone, somewhere between 65 and 85 feet. And I settle into the sand down here, and I'm hoping to see more life because there's more structure and there's probably less people that dive out here because it is deeper. And we're in a pretty heavy current zone, so we got to be really careful where we drop and how we're spotting each other. So our solution to this is to bring a 100-foot line and drop an anchor. So if the anchor grabs the reef, we can hold on to the buoy and we can negate a lot of the effects of the current, and we can also use the line to pull ourselves down this line. Now, just be careful if you ever do this. This is super dangerous, but we're not diving any deeper than we normally do. So I'm going to use the line to pull myself down, which is a little bit more efficient, and try to find a good spot to settle into the reef here. I feel like I'm in a pretty good hiding spot. I have some good coverage from the structure around me, and I'm reasonably comfortable. I'm kind of on a slant a little bit, which isn't ideal, but it's good enough for this dive. I'm not really seeing much fish anyway. There's that Malay, and then there's that really fat Roy there. I'd like to take that guy off the reef if I don't see anything else. I'm looking behind me, make sure nothing came up. Looking around, I'm not seeing anything other than that Wahanui. Nothing to the left. So, okay, that Roy's still there. It'd be good to take that guy off the reef. He's a fatty. I'm going to give that Uhu a pass. It's kind of a longer shot, but he's a pretty big fish, so he gives me a pretty easy lineup. And I put a good shot into him. Fat holding shot, so I'm going to haul him up. We're going to turn him into chum. I have no idea what Tony said there, but we do have about 5 pounds of chum that we can use for the rest of our day, so that's pretty exciting. And there's Alex doing his gentle breathe up in this heavy current. And then on my next drop, I'm going to head down a little bit deeper now, right on top of this ledge in the upper 70s or so. And we're going to see if we can get these moo to come in. There's a pretty fat school of big moo that have been hanging around, and we want to see if maybe they'll come in if we're a little bit deeper here. And I'm just pulling out all the stops here. I got my flasher wrapped around my pinky. I'm staying flat and relaxed on the reef, very still. I'm going to scratch and throw a little sand up, maybe a couple grunts, and keep my head down, keep my gun flat on the reef, keep my fins down. And they're in the distance and they're watching me, but they're way too smart. They know my tricks. They know not to come in. So I'm taking a look around, see if anything else maybe come in behind me. But we are really just not seeing much today. So I'm not going to waste my breath, waste this dive. I know they're not coming in. I'm going to head up. On this next one, I decide I'm going to drop down a little bit deeper into the sand below the ledge in the lower mid 80s or so. This ends up being my deepest drop of the day. So I'm going to throw some sand up and try to keep my head down and give these guys another go. And I'm just going to very slowly and gently pick my head up and look around. I'm trying not to look directly at any fish because your eyes do tend to spook them. I just kind of want to see if anything came in on my throwing sand and grunting, and this fat school of opalocala come in. I don't see anything quite big enough that I'm interested in today, even though they are pretty nice fish. I'm going to give these guys a pass, but then this fat munu pops in out of nowhere. I didn't even see him, and I think he's heading away, so I stay calm. I wait for the right shot. It's kind of a far one, but he gives me an easy broadside shot. I give him the spinal tap, and the weight of the spear sinks him into the sand, and I head for the surface as gently and smoothly as I can. As I'm kicking up, I try to keep my knees straight, I keep my shoulders relaxed, and I don't look up. I distract myself with my gear, make sure the lines don't get tangled, I put my flasher away, and I'm just going to really try to take my time here and just deal with the discomfort. It's a really good practice. Then Alex meets me down, makes sure I'm okay, and I surface just fine. One of my favorite fish on the reef, and this guy's well over 2 pounds. Pretty stoked about that. Look how beautiful. And now to change locations, one of us has to go down and pull up the anchor, and the other person hauls it up. That's what me and Alex are doing here before I head down for my next drop here. And we find this super cool cave structure, and it's just loaded with life, mostly ta'apes, which are also invasive snappers, and they're a little bit on the smaller side. But the nice thing about a big school of ta'apes is it tends to have other fish around it, like omilus and oluas and other predatory fish, because they eat the ta'apes. So I think I find this really good structure to land between. I'm in the sand, flat on the bottom. I got structure on either side protecting me, and I'm looking for any fish that might come in to check me out. But all I see is ta'apes and a couple mu in the distance, and they're not even that big. So I'm going to see if I can find anything bigger. Move my body a little bit to the left. I look up, and I'm not seeing anything. So I'm going to bail on this dive. Then as Tony's chumming that Roy from earlier, this uku comes in to check it out. And I take a drop down to about 30-40 feet here and try to do a midwater drop on him, which I've got plenty of ukus from before. But this guy sees me, and he turns right back around and heads out. I know that's a mistake, so I'm going to try to head for the bottom now in the mid-upper 70s and see if I can hit the sand here. So I go right to the bottom. I throw up a plume of sand and a couple grunts with my flasher, because a lot of times that works to bring ukus in. They are predatory. They do come in on things like this, and I want to see if hunting from the bottom would give me a better shot on him. All I see is some mu in the distance. They're not interested at all. I look around, I can't see that uku anywhere. So I'm guessing that when I headed down, he saw what I was doing and he bolted. He headed out, and I do not see him. Now, after getting pushed by this current for a couple hours, we end up in the sandy area, and I see this triton shell at the bottom, and I go down to check him out. There is somebody home, so I just give him a little love tap, and I head back up for the surface to continue our drift. But instead, the current has switched directions, and now we are swimming into it, and we are in the middle of nowhere, hauling a heavy buoy all by ourselves.
It's hard to say with the current, you know?
Maybe it might shut off now.
No idea. Kind of stuck in the middle. Current pushing us both ways.
Well, I say we're right here.
Yeah.
We're like 200 yards or 300 yards. I say we push it to shore and rock hop.
Okay.
I don't know. Unless we gotta try something.
Yeah, you're right.
It is taking all of both of our efforts to get this buoy to move against that current, but I'm still having fun down here. Check out this cushion star. I'm gonna give him a little love tap too. And even though I have 2 really nice fish on the Kui right now, I would love to get a little bit more so I have more food for the week. And I saw this school of really fat ta'apes in the shallows here, so I figured it would be great to take another invasive off the reef and get another fish to pan fry, especially when they're on the bigger side like this. So I'm just going to wait here at the bottom. I'm not very deep, maybe about 10 meters. I don't love shooting into rocks, but I'm willing to take a shot on this guy if he gives me the right angle. Just waiting for him to pop back out. I know they're skittish, but they're also very curious. So as he comes out here, I give him the right shot, but my shaft goes right between these 2 rocks. And I don't give him the best shot, so he's shot a little bit high, and I know I don't have the breath hold to dig that spear out right now. It's too dangerous, so I head back up and recover. So I'm going to head down and try to release this shaft now, and I really did a job on this one. I don't know how it made it between those 2 rocks, and the flopper opened up, and then it opens back up inside the rocks, and I got to close it again and try to spin it out, and I cannot get it to come out, so I reach down one more time and close that flopper, and I finally get it to come out. And in the meantime, Alex grabs this nice taco, which is the first one any of us have gotten in months, which is awesome because that's the best, most sustainable seafood on the reef right there. And just before we get to our exit, I see this little baby taco, and I just have to go take a dive on him just to introduce myself. I'm obviously not going to grab him or bother him. I just want to record him and say hi. And he slips underneath that rock. He gets a little bit spooked here, and he heads away. So I give him a little follow. Just give him a little shako wave. Take care, buddy. See you when you're bigger. And then right at our exit, this super cool spotted boxfish came to see us off.
Yeah, we got a ride.
Ooh, that was a long day. Wow, okay, it's a lot later than it's supposed to be, but I'm finally heading home. Always really fun out there, always great to be in the water, always a good day hanging out with Alex. Great to hang with you, Tony. Thanks for joining us out there today. Wish it was a little bit fishier, wish we got a little bit more action, but glad to make it out in one piece. Glad I got what I got. So, can't complain. Gonna go home and relax. So every once in a while, it's really important to keep your suit clean, not just rinsed, and I do with the cooler too. So I have my wetsuit in the cooler. I'm gonna add some white vinegar. We're gonna fill that cooler up. We'll let that soak this afternoon. It's gonna sanitize the suit, and then we'll give it another rinse, and we're gonna hang it up to dry. Okay, so I don't think this aspect of diving gets covered enough. Your mask and snorkel need to be cleaned. Hate to break the news to you, but if you dive as much as I do and you wear a dark snorkel, like black, you're not gonna see how nasty it really gets in here for all your spit being in there and all the salt water over time. It gets really gross in here, so you gotta make sure you take this apart and clean it periodically. So this comes apart super simple. Just twist this off, boom. Let's use some hot water. This soap works just fine. We're just gonna scrub this out. Make sure nobody gets sick from an old nasty snorkel. We'll go into here. We're gonna flush all that out of there. And make sure you rinse it really well too, so your snorkel doesn't taste like soap. While you're at it, clean your mask too, because that gets pretty nasty as well. If you dive a lot, you'll notice that you start to get barnacles in the inside of your mask. So make sure you scrub those out occasionally. I do this about every other week. It's also great anti-fog. It keeps the lenses in really good shape. And it keeps the rubber healthy so it stays stuck to your skin, it doesn't crack. Take good care of your gear. All right. Oh yeah? Okay, I didn't feel like doing it last night, so I kept the fish in the fridge in a brown paper bag. Now let's do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Nipa loves her goats.
All right, so usually we do our catching hooks for dinner, but we're hungry. We're gonna do it for lunch today. So we're gonna do something a little bit different. Megan just made this awesome sourdough loaf from scratch. So we're going to slice that up and we're gonna do some munu on there in a really simple, quick, easy way. All right, we got that. You ready to chop that thing?
Yeah, big reveal. Come on.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Perfect.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Looks good.
They've been coming out so well.
Thanks.
Okay, we have a fresh local tomato, and we're just gonna chop and mince this up really small. All right, just like that. Add some mayonnaise to these breads. We're gonna put a layer of tomato over here. All right, just like that. And then we have this fresh mozzarella. We're gonna slice super thin, paper thin pieces. Tiny splash of balsamic vinegar. And then the tricky part, we're going to take this munu filet and I'm going to cut it in very thin pieces, just like the mozzarella. Very, very thin slices, like sashimi, but even thinner. We're going to take all of this shredded up munu and put it in this bowl. Take a little extra virgin olive oil. Doesn't take much. Cover all of this fish in olive oil. Just going to layer it over the top of this bread. Oh, that smells so good. Alright, and you can use any salt for this, but I have this really fancy hibiscus chili lime salt that I haven't used yet and I really want to try it, so I'm just going to go with that. Just going to do a light sprinkle. It's kind of coarse salt, so it's better to sprinkle it from up high. It makes it more even so you don't get super salty spots. And it shouldn't take very much, just a pinch each. Of course, we're going to add some black pepper. And you could probably eat it just like that and it would be great, but we're gonna throw it in the air fryer for a few minutes and just kind of crisp over that top. Put these in this tray first. Pop those in the air fryer. We'll put those on fries. All right, we'll give that a few minutes. Okay, those were in for exactly 4 minutes at 450. That's all it took. Oh yeah.
Those look great.
Oh, they smell so good. A little hot. Ow. You. Oh yeah. We haven't done a brunch one yet.
No.
It's almost always dinner. All right, this is a new one.
Oh, it looks so
Oh,
good.
it smells so good.
Mm.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That bread came out perfect too.
Thanks, honey. I think the balsamic just like ties it all together.
Balsamic? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Very Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Tomatoes like brighten it up.
That munu, thinly sliced. I gotta do that more often.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, that was well worth it. Well worth the long, arduous efforts out there yesterday. But we're gonna take the rest of the day off and just totally chill. So we're gonna eat this, watch a movie, and then probably take a nap and go to bed early. But I'll work on getting this edit together for you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching.